when I came in the room today, Unu leaned into me and asked me, what is the title of your speech? And I told her, Unprepared is my title. Before I begin, I want to ask a question to you guys. Do you like to prepare for things in advance? Are you a planner? Or do you like to do things spontaneously? Spontaneously.
Depends on where you are.
Good answer. I'm actually an extreme case of a planner. My life's motto was be ready. And I hate not being ready. I hate the confusion. So at any given time, for any given occasion, I try to be ready. I'll give you an idea, example to give you an idea of how crazy I am about being prepared. So I currently teach adults English. I'm new at the job, so I started last year. For the first several months, I searched every single pronunciation of the word that I'm gonna speak during the 50-minute class that day. So it's pretty crazy. And I also had a lot of time because I didn't have a lot of students then. So that probably shows you how I like to prepare in advance. But today, I actually don't have a script. I'm not as prepared as I like to be, and I did it intentionally, so I want to share why. My past two speeches that I gave at Toastmasters were, I think, more than it was pretty long ago. One was about connecting with strangers, and another was an incident I had in Hawaii. And I put a lot of work into them. I prepared for days. And the day that I gave this speech, while I was giving the speech, I realized something. So, when we write speeches, when we try to imagine the audience's reaction to our speech, right? So there were parts in the speech that I anticipated or predicted that there would be some kind of laughter from the audience. But actually, when I gave the speech, the parts where the audience laughed were not the parts that I expected them to laugh. And the parts that I expected them to laugh, none of the audience. So that made me realize I cannot really control the reaction of the audience. Yeah, another example is last Saturday was my parents-in-law's 80th birthday. So there was this big family event, and I prepared 삼행시 with my parents-in-law's names. So 삼행시 is like a Korean haiku using the 3 syllables of your name. And I prepared this 삼행시 thinking that it would be hilarious, but not only did people laugh at the parts that I thought they would laugh at, they didn't laugh at all. The entire 삼행시, it was quiet. It wasn't a bad 삼행시, but it was definitely a lot of funny one. So that made me realize that I cannot control the reaction, and that's because my sense of humor and the audience's sense of humor is different. And especially, I don't have an especially good sense of humor, so I thought that it was meaningless to try to control the reaction. And the second reason, so I prepared the speeches for the 2 speeches I gave, previous speeches that I gave for Toastmasters. I prepared for like days, not just 1 day, like 3 days, like writing the script, rewriting, checking grammar, and checking the word, sentence, structure, paragraph, and reading it again and again so that it sticks to my memory. And I think the speech went pretty well because I prepared so much. But after delivering the speech, the strongest feeling that I felt was not satisfaction, but exhaustion. So I never wanted to do it again. I want to share an anecdote that was introduced in the book titled Art and Fear. So in the book, the professor of a pottery class does an experiment. He splits his class into two groups. He asks this group of students to focus on making one pot for the entire semester, one perfect pot. And he asks the other group of students to make as many pots as possible. At the end of the semester, guess which group produced the highest quality pieces of pots? Many pots. The second group. So while the first group of students were theorizing, planning, and hesitating, the second group was making mistakes, fixing, and improving their craft. And I want my speech to be like that. I don't want to try to deliver a perfect speech and then, disappear for 1 year. I want to keep making speeches even though they're far from perfect. So that brings me to my conclusion. To be honest, before coming here today, I debated for 100th time whether to cancel it or not. I really wanted to, but I didn't because I know that I'm never going to be fully ready. So if you have a speaking event and you have to speak in front of 100 people or something, I don't want you to follow my example, but if you, like me, are obsessed with, if you have obsession with perfectionism, so you think that it's pulling you back instead of pushing you forward, and if you think that your perfectionism suffocates you rather than frees you, then I think it's a good, maybe sometimes it'll be a good practice to come up on stage without, a fully scripted material and just trust yourself and see how it goes. Thank you.